Phil, I'm so excited to talk to you. You're a very talented musician and actor in voiceover acting. Here at Bionic Buzz, we're all about people's passion. I want to know where your passion for music came from. Was it a certain album you heard, live performance you saw, or something that was natural for you as a child?
My first recollection is listening to the Rolling Stones' "Get Your Yayas Out" live record.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I was 4, and I still remember "Jumpin' Jack Flash" was my favorite song. And yeah, I used to run around with the tennis racket and play ROCKSTAR. And I lived in New York at the time, and I would go down to the court in my grandmother's building with a speaker from the stereo, with a little compact turntable stereo thing. Speaker would come off and had a little cable on it. And I would go out there with my tennis racket, and I would plug it into the tennis racket, and I would like Kiss songs and stuff to nothing, just singing the wrong lyrics as loud as I could to the building, as if it was my my Coliseum.
That's so cool, man. You just did a collab-A-Jam, I guess that's how you would describe it, with Muse. I got the shirt on. Hysteria, one of my favorite bands, Muse. I mean, it's the ultimate bass line for you to play, though, right? Is that why you picked that song?
I love that song. Years ago, I think when the song first came out, a tech that we had used to, when he was testing, working my bass stuff on stage, he would play that line, and I was like, what the hell is that? So, he showed it to me, and to this day, when we're sound checking, I almost always just, Phil, we need to hear some bass, and start running it. And, it's just always been fun to jam around on. I never bothered learning the whole song. I just knew the main riff. One day at soundcheck, Jason, my guitar player, and Phil, he started playing along with me, and I was like, "Oh, geez, I better know the next part." And I got the chords right, but I wasn't playing it right. And then Phil Demmel, the guitar player on the Jam from BPMD and Machinehead and VIO-LENCE, he had put one of these videos out, and I'd been trying to do a video like this with my bands. With Fuel, I wanted to do this with Fuel. I wanted to do this with Petty Cash. And, this is when the whole pandemic was first happening, and they were all just caught up in their lives and just never, got on board with doing it, so soon. And so I saw Phil do it, and I saw actually Jeff Scott Soto do one, a Queen one with Brian May and Roger Taylor. And, I reached out to Jeff, and I was like, dude, if you ever need a bass player for one of those things, let me know. And he's like, yeah, man, I'm trying not to do them because it's too much work. And and then he's done a zillion of them since. And then Phil Demmel, he put one out, and I was like, bro, if you ever need a bass player, I want to do one. And he's like, let's do it. Pick a song. And I was like, oh shit, I'm on the spot here. Okay. And the first thought I had was Hysteria. And his response was like, dude, sick bass line. Yeah, let's do it. Just, batting ideas about who else we would have in it. We threw a couple of different names of different drummers around, and we, when Brian's name, we were both like, yeah, he's just such a solid player and such a good guy. I've known him for almost 10 years maybe, and Phil's friends with him, so that was a no-brainer to get him. And then for vocals, I do I've been on Shiprocked a bunch of times, and I'm part of the Stowaways, the all-star band, and Lukas Rossi has been part of that band a couple times that I've done it. And Lukas he is just a phenomenal talent that has never, he's got a new record out, and I really hope it breaks for him because he deserves it. I mean, he's one of the most talented and emotional singers I've ever had the fortune to work with and see. I've seen him do a cover of an Adele song that puts tears on everybody's face. I mean,
oh wow, what song does he do?
Hello.
Oh, I like to hear that.
It's on YouTube. It's amazing. But I've seen him do it live, and you know, in Shiprocked one year, after Chester Bennington passed away, on Shiprocked, we do 2 sets as the all-star band, and one of the sets is always a memorial set for artists that have passed away. And so we did Crawling, Lincoln Park song. I mean, I didn't play on it, but Lukas sang on it, and it started with a piano ballad. And dude, the emotion that this guy pulled was just incredible. He's got vocal chops for days. And then,
cool. I'm gonna check out his stuff then.
so good. He you know, he's most known for winning the Rockstar Supernova reality show, and you know, unfortunately, that band had things that went against it from the get-go. I mean, while they were getting ready, I think Jason Newsted tore his shoulder up and couldn't play, so they had to get a different player, and things just got derailed. But it was a cool project. Never, you know, like a lot of projects, it's never materialized. But Lukas and I have been friends for years, and you know, that song, well, Muse in general is you can go online and see tons of Muse, see tons of Hysteria covers.
Yeah.
You can hit the notes, but they don't have that tone. They don't have.
Yeah, he did a great job. I mean, I'm a huge Muse fan, so I would come down if it was a bad cover. You know.
I mean, he was just the only person I thought of.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, who could? It was like, Lukas needs to sing this song because I know his tone, I know his ability, and I know his passion. And he blew me away on it. He did better than I thought he was going to do. You know, everybody did. I mean, one thing that surprised me about the way Brian played, and the way we did it, you know, Brian played the drums first, did a stereo mix, and sent me the file, and then I played along with that, and then I did my stereo mix, and I sent those files to Phil, who then did his stuff. Lukas, he did his stuff. They sent it all back to me, and I sent it off to Gabe Lopez, the mixer, who's a friend of mine. So Brian did it. You know, I was like, yeah, it's going to be at 98, I think, or whatever BPMs. You know, it starts with the bass intro. So it's like, I need that click track there. And he, you know, when he sent it to me, he's like, yeah, I didn't use a click. I just kind of counted you. I didn't use a click because I wanted it to have like a Zeppelin-y sort of swing feel to it. He's just like the biggest John Bonham fan.
Yeah, he does the BONZO Bash, which I've been to in NAMM before.
Exactly. So, I mean, he's
yeah.
I mean, the kit that he played, I think, is like the same kit that Bonzo played. You know, the kit that's in the video that he played on was like the green sparkle.
Yeah.
With the huge ass drum. And so, you know, he told me that, and I was like, okay. And I listened to it, and I was just like, come on, that is so on the nose. You know, it gives it a looser feel. It's still like, you know, regimented, because that bass part is 16th notes the entire song. And you know, if you're a bass player, playing 16th notes on your fingers for an entire song is brutal. When I started like working out for this song, I literally and then I'd have to put it down and come back the next day, play it again, and you know, until I felt solid enough to record it, or until I, you know, built up I could play it 2 times in a day. But his feel on it is just so on point. It's so crazy good. And yeah, so I mean, I couldn't be more pleased with the way it came out. And then, you know, Phil Demmel was like, you know, he's a thrash metal guy, and he's like, I'm gonna put, you know, I'm gonna rock it out a little harder. And I was like, there you are.
Yeah, that's what I loved about it, 'cause it was a little bit different. I mean, I've seen a lot of covers of that song, and most of them aren't that great, you know. So, but this one, I was like, I first got the link for it. I was like, I'll give it a shot, and I was like, wow. So, congrats to you and everybody else on that. So,
I see comments on, you know, your sites or you know, some of your competitors' sites, and you know, the comments are usually where the keyboard warriors shine. You know, they're like, you know, that's crap and blah blah. You know, they love, you know, crapping on people's work, because
yeah, that's what, you know, when stuff's getting out there, when the trolls start leaving comments. I feel like, you know,
and you know, of all the sites that I checked, we had one, and his comments were like, he's like, Muse, they're like a B-list emo band. And if you know, exactly. Muse, about as A-list as it comes. And he also said, you know, at least if you're going to cover a song called Hysteria, do the Def Leppard version. That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, that's like apples or orangutans. I mean, they're
yeah.
So different. It doesn't make sense. And he got called out by other commenters.
Oh, that's good.
Comment was like, I love Muse. Lukas Rossi did amazing. You know, this was like, whoa, you know, fire, blah, 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 all that stuff. I mean, we got some amazing feedback on it. And, you know, I'm really proud of it, you know. You know, the video, I edited the video myself.
Oh, you did a great job then.
It was my first time taking on a project that big. I mean, I'm just getting into videography, and I mean, look, this is my bedroom, and
yeah, same here.
like here, and you know, practicals and all this stuff, and then and then I have a recording studio where I recorded my part of the video, song and my part of the video, and my live room in my recording studio. I've stopped playing music in there years ago because at Fuel we rehearse at my singer's house, and I haven't used that studio for band settings since I was in Filter.
Yeah.
So I've converted my live room to a TV production room. So I mean, there's lighting everywhere and tripods and all that stuff. And it's backdrops, and it's just a fun place. So it's a great hobby. You know, I don't kid myself to thinking it's anything more than that. But you know, they're like, you know, I thought Phil was leading this thing basically. And every time I would say, well, here's this, he'd throw it back at me like, all right, cool, now let's get this. You know, and you know, he's like, so what do you want to do with the video? And I'm like, I guess I'm gonna do it, huh? All right, okay, here's what I need from you guys. And I told them how I wanted it shot, and you know, help them with settings on their, you know, in Brian and Phil's case, it was iPhones, which difficult, but I told them the settings to do on their iPhones, and the kind of shots that I wanted. I didn't have a predetermined plan. I just wanted options. So they did. Phil gave me 3 different options. Brian gave me 2 different angles.
Yeah.
2. And I think I did like 3 or 4. I ended up not using some, but piecing together some others. And it just became a huge, fun project, you know.
As a videographer, what program did you edit in actually?
Oh,
nice. Oh, that's what I used to. Yeah.
I mean, I know there's your Final Cut Pro people and your Premiere Pro people, but
I used to be Final Cut forever, and then I've had the Creative Suite forever, and then I was like, I'm just gonna check it out, and I actually like Premiere better now. I think that the audio mixing is better in Final Cut still, but you can always export stuff out and bring it back in. So
I started getting into this because I started getting into following a lot of YouTube filmmakers. And one of them, this guy, Matty Hapoya out of Canada, he just posted a video about, you know, I mean, the title that brings you in is, you know, why I'm switching to Final Cut Pro, because he's definitely a Premiere guy, an Adobe guy. And he was talking about how when he was started with Final Cut Pro, you know, like these guys, they'll give themselves a challenge for a month. Like for 1 month, I'm going to edit on DaVinci, or I'm going to edit on Final Cut, and they're going to document that to make another YouTube video. And so he did that, and he was talking about, he was in the video, he's saying like, yeah, so I kept like thinking, well, you know, I can only do this part on Premiere Pro. And, oh no, I can do it on Final Cut Pro. I can, well, this part is only Premiere Pro. Like, oh no, I can do it in Final Cut Pro as well. And what I've gathered is if you dig deep enough, everything you can do on Premiere, you can do in Final Cut. But you know, it's what I got when I decided to start this. So it's just what I've.
Well, you did a great job. So amazing. Let's save the music thing. So for me, why I asked the passion questions, because my passion for music came in like late 91 when I saw Smells Like Teen Spirit. for the first time when I was 11 years old, and I was really into the whole 90s rock, you know, alternative scene. And you got to perform in Filter and now in Fuel. I mean, that's a really big deal, you know.
It's pretty awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I deal with somebody that can only play in bands that are car parts that begin with the letter F.
Yeah. When were you the bass player for Filter?
From 2010 to 2013, almost.
Okay.
2013.
Okay, guys. So 2013, I believe that's when it was Sponge, Filter, Live, and Everclear summer tour. Were you on that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I went to that in LA. What an amazing tour.
Where did we play in LA again?
The Wiltern.
Oh yeah, the Wiltern. Right. Yeah. Yeah, that was a huge deal for me. I figured you think I'd remember that because I grew up in LA. I mean, I'm from New York, but I grew up in LA. So like a, you know, benchmark for me, and that was my first time playing there. And yeah, it's awesome.
Very cool. And I believe what Phil's working on new music right now, or
Brett's holed up in his house with his family, and he's writing a lot of music, and I'm kicking around ideas, and I think Jason is as well, and you know, hopefully we'll start collaborating. You know, we all have families, so it's really you know, get time in the day, you know, when you're not punching a clock where you have to be somewhere. You know, and music is inspiration, so it can come, but it's tough to be inspired when you're like, you know, you're watching Zombies 2, you know, on Disney for the third time.
I have 2 kids, so I understand.
I love it. It was one thing about this pandemic is I actually kind of love it because I get to be home with my kids. You know, I get to be in the house with my family, and that's just that's the hardest part about my job, is not being around often. I mean, the good thing with Fuel is that we do fly dates pretty much only. We haven't been on a tour bus in a couple of years, so even if I'm gone for some shows, I'll be home at least 1 or 2 days in that week.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
that makes it good. And you know, we were slated to do a bunch of that this summer, and now I'm home, and it's been just incredible to be around my family.
Very cool. Well, I'm a huge Marvel fan. You've done some voiceover work for some video games like Spider-Man 3. You also got to voice Ghost in Marvel Heroes, which was his online game. This is way before, I think, Ant-Man and the Wasp had their female version of Ghost come out. Talk about doing the voice of that.
You know, it's tough to say because you know, it's just a job that I auditioned for. I've always wanted to be a Marvel fan. I'm not saying I'm not, but I just haven't. It's on the list of things to do. I mean, I actually in Fuel we had Jonah Nimoy. Do you know Jonah, guitar player? He's a touring guitar player with The Offspring right now, and he's toured with.
The name's familiar. I can't picture him though.
He's got his own band Furiosa, but and I can't believe I'm blanking on this right now. Not Chad Taylor. Corey Taylor's other band.
Stone Sour.
Lord, I saw the SS. I just couldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's done a tour with Stone Sour, playing guitar with them, and I think he plays with Corey in his solo stuff too. But he's a big like Star Wars-y Marvel nerd. I actually had him give me a list of movies to watch in order. And so I've got the list in my phone. I just haven't done it, but I do absolutely plan on it. And I know the significance of being a Marvel character. So
yeah, it's a big deal.
It carried more weight than a typical voiceover job, but the honest truth is it was just a voiceover job that I auditioned for and booked. Nice. Because it is what it is. It's come back a couple of times, which has been pretty cool. You know?
Yeah.
You know.
Well, you also do on-screen stuff. I think you got a show on Thursday. It's called Broke. You play Nick Murray. What is the show about?
So the show Broke, and this is a tragedy too. The show is a brand new show on CBS. They've gotten picked up for 13 episodes. they just started running in April. I only did one episode.
Okay.
But the show was great. The people were great. It was one of the best casting crews I've ever been around. Just such a supportive and amazing community of people. And they had, I think, like 3 episodes that had aired, and they got canceled.
Oh no.
You know, and we were all excited because they had told me they loved my character, and they were like, yeah, if we get picked up for a second season, you're definitely back on the show, and you know, we'll figure out how to make it a bigger role. I mean, the episode I'm in is a big role, but you know, like a bigger place in their particular universe. And yeah, so they got canceled, but because of the pandemic and networks not having enough programming, they're seeing through running all 13 episodes on the air.
Okay, so your episode airs tomorrow then, right?
That would have it. My episode airs tomorrow at 9:30 on CBS. Yeah.
Very cool. Well, who knows? Maybe you'll get a second life, new ratings, and it could come back. You never know.
I really hope that people, yeah, write in and whatever, and it can get another life somewhere else. It's just such a great group of people. I mean,
yeah, everybody
from, you know, their craft service person all the way up to, or you know, their stage PAs all the way up to their showrunner. It's just and everybody in between and around it, the camera crew, you know, everybody. They were so awesome. Like I'd never seen that kind of a camaraderie before, especially on such a young show.
Yeah.
And the way I got that show is, you know, Polly Perrette from NCIS, as Abby. So she's on the show, and Polly and I have been friends for 20-something years. And you know, so when the shows, before they even went into production, she called me up and she's like, I need you on my show. I need you to be on my show. And so the long and short of it is I ended up getting the character of Nick Murray. They actually wrote it for me. I mean, it was there in their storyline, but they tailored that character to me specifically. And, you know, after NCIS, Polly was done. She doesn't need to work again. I mean, she did 16 years. She's
yeah. Just the amount of money she probably gets in reruns, you know. So
very content in her life. I mean, she's a homebody and a lovely person and such a giving person. And you know, she told me, she said the only way in hell she would have ever come out of her retirement, especially so soon, is if the cast and crew were the type of people that they were, and she was promised that that's what it would be, and they delivered. Everybody in that cast and crew was just amazing, you know, really, really good.
Cool. So what's the show about exactly?
All right. So, well, what the show is about is Polly plays this single mom who lives in Reseda, doesn't have a lot of money. And her sister, played by Natasha Leggero, has married a multimillionaire. And they, you know, she's off on her rich life. The husband's father, who's actually the money, cuts off the son. And so, yeah. And so all of a sudden they have no money. Yeah. So they're moving in with Polly with their, basically his man Friday, his butler, his, you know, attaché or whatever. And they still live this rich style attitude.
Yeah.
And then yeah,
I could see where the comedy comes from.
Really funny. And so my character is it's a side story. It's the B story of this particular episode, so it doesn't really have much to do with that. My character is so Polly and Natasha's character's father, I guess, was a handyman, and you know, before he passed away, and his partner was my father, my character's father, and they had a nasty falling out, and also my character dated Natasha Leggero's character in high school.
Oh yeah.
And so there's this nursing home that has some plumbing and electrical issues, And when they go to get it fixed, they research who did the original jobs, and it was our dad's company. So we both get called in to bid, to outbid each other on the job, and they end up hiring like her to do the electrical, me to do the plumbing. And so it's a few scenes of us in this thing, and just our butting heads.
Yeah.
Polly makes Natasha's character work for her, work with her. So my scenes are with Polly and Natasha, and the hilarity ensues.
All right, well, we'll make sure to check that out tomorrow. CBS 9:30, I believe. And everyone should check out your Muse cover. Where is that? It's on YouTube, right?
On my channel, youtube.com/Phil Buckman, and it's there, and we've been getting a lot of hits on it, which as somebody who's been worshiping YouTube videos lately, seeing the only video I have that's got more than 1,000 views, it's like, whoa.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
I've always wanted, I have a YouTube channel because I've always wanted starts and stops of actually developing something. But with this video, I think I'm going to try to do more of these.
I think you should.
It's a lot of work, but
yeah.
Definitely start reaching out to some other people when things calm down a little bit at home, and start recording some more songs, and do some more and put them out.
All right. Well, Phil, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to me, and we'll talk down the road. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right, man. You take care.